What is the split with Deebo and the Niners all about? Best you can tell us, Tom Pelissero.
It sounds like there's multiple layers to this, Rich, but certainly one of them is Deebo Samuel wants to be a receiver and not a receiver/running back. His rushing attempts were significantly up last season from where they've been in the past. We all know that he's a really, really physical player, but there probably are some concerns here about longevity. The counterpoint to that, of course, is that the part of the reason that Deebo Samuel is so valuable is because he's versatile. And one of the things Kyle Shanahan does as well as anybody in the NFL is, run the same plays out of different personnel groups, move people around, use them in different ways. That's a big reason that Deebo Samuel is, the player that he is, because he can do all those different things. But, in the big picture, it sounds like the role is part of the reason that Deebo wants to play someplace else where he may just be able to be a true wide receiver and potentially tack on some years to his career.
So why what? And then Kyle Shanahan's like, what? You don't tell me what to do? Or like they couldn't hammer that out? Or was this an issue last year when he kept getting the ball, do you think?
It sounds like it's something that's played out, these conversations through the course of this offseason. Everybody sees where the wide receiver market is going. The 49ers were willing and wanting to engage with Deebo Samuel, as other teams, frankly, should be right now, because the numbers are just going to keep going up and up. This trade request actually happened a couple of weeks ago, hence me dancing around your question an hour ago on the show.
Okay.
I did not realize that our good friend Jeff Darlington was going to tweet that a minute after I got off the air. But, yeah, they've been trying to deal with it. They stand ready to try to extend him. Deebo, it sounds like, has just decided in his mind he's better off going someplace else where he might be used a little bit differently. There's going to be a line down the block for people trying to trade for him, and the 49ers are going to have to make a decision here. Do they trade one of the most unique weapons in the NFL, recoup some of the draft capital they don't currently have because of the trade up a year ago for Trey Lance, or do they settle in and tell him we're not trading you and play the long game? So far, it's been a couple of weeks. They obviously have not yet done a deal with Deebo Samuel, but we'll see, as we have with Devontae Adams, with Tyreek Hill. Both of those, were situations that played out behind the scenes for, days or weeks prior to, guys all of a sudden everything escalating quickly and being traded. Don't sense that there's anything imminent on the Deebo Samuel front, but again, as we've seen with other cases, these things can get moving quickly.
Oh, my goodness gracious. I got to tell you, I didn't have on my bingo card Deebo didn't want to be a running back / wide receiver. Because that does make him a unicorn. That's why, if I was the Jets, I'd want to give up the 10th overall pick for him. That's why the phone's ringing off the hook. So is there like a happy medium that he can't, is that something that all teams that might be acquiring Deebo, that they need to check with him first to see what his idea of his running back play limit is, carries that he's willing to do at all?
You absolutely have those conversations because you're going to need to work out a contract extension with him. So that's all going to be, part of this. At this point, again, I'm not under the impression the 49ers have given Deebo's agent, Tory Dandy, permission to talk to other teams. I think we all know that there are various back channel conversations that happen in all these types of situations. But one of the interesting things is, remember, Kyle Shanahan has a lot of his former assistants who are coaches of some of the teams who may be interested in Deebo. So whether that is Matt LaFleur in Green Bay, whether that is Matt's brother Mike LaFleur, who is the Jets offensive coordinator, those guys have seen, whether they were part of the staff or just from watching from afar, they've seen how Deebo Samuel has been used through the course of his career. Again, yeah, that's a big part of Deebo's value. But he also was a 1,400-yard receiver last year. The scheme and the way that thing is set up and the way they move him around is a big part of his production and why he's so valuable. But yeah, Deebo seems to believe that he's going to be able to max out his earning power and extend his career if he's not taken as many of those hits. And in the current environment, when you look around at guys like Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill, who have made up their minds they want to go someplace else and have gotten their way. I certainly understand the mentality of some other receivers who might be saying, why can't I pick my spot too?
So just to wrap it up, and put a point on it here. So the trade request is public now just because he told Jeff Darlington and Jeff tweeted it out. But it's been known within the building there for a couple of weeks. And this is not over money. This is over his usage and significant usage at a position where anytime somebody hits 30, it's over. So he would prefer not to be a running back at all? That's basically what you're saying, Tom?
It certainly sounds like again, I think he had 53 carries or so last year, which is 4 times what he had ever had in another year in his career. Sounds like that is too much for him at this point. He'd like his role to be more, of a true receiver. There's also a reason, Rich, when, a trade request was made 2 weeks ago, we were aware of it. Other people were aware of it. It came out for a reason today, and it goes back to the conversation we had in the last hour about Kyler Murray. Why do agents or players bring these things to a head prior to the draft? Well, because that's your best time to make things happen, ideally to be before free agency, but from the player's perspective, to be able to go places where teams still have resources and they haven't drafted somebody else, and also for the teams, if the 49ers are willing to trade Deebo Samuel, which it doesn't sound like at this point that they have committed to do, but if they're willing to trade him, it absolutely makes sense for them to do so prior to the draft, because when you're talking about 2023 picks versus 2022 picks, every GM in the league would look at those as basically a one-round downgrade. You'd be getting less for Deebo Samuel in June or July than you're getting in the next 7 days here.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.